Welcome back to Vlogmas Day 22. It is a Tuesday today, so today we are doing another top 10. Welcome to Top 10 Tuesday. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel at least twice a week normally, although as you know we are coming to the end of Vlogmas, so at the minute you have a video every day from me. I will leave my Vlogmas playlist linked up above in case you have missed out. Make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on tomorrow's Vlogmas video, and in the description box below you will find all of my social links including my blog and my Goodreads so you can keep up with my reading in between videos. Today is going to be the third of my top 10 lists for the year. Today we are going to be talking about my top 10 adult fiction, which was probably the hardest one to put together out of my non-fiction, my YA fiction, which I've already put up. I'll leave those linked up above as well, but this one was probably the hardest, and I could probably keep adding books to it as they go along. Next week we're going to be talking my kind of top 10 books of the year, and yeah, I can't even remember if I finalized that list. I did think about doing a top 20 for 2020, but then it becomes a really long video. So let me know thoughts in the comments. Top 10, top 20, which would you prefer to see? Some of these books I do have standalone videos talking about, so I'll be able to share that with you. But let's get started. Okay, a couple that I read really early on in the year. I did this one as a few of these I actually did as buddy reads, which is very exciting. But this one I read with my lovely friend Hayley as a buddy read. This is Our Story by Miranda Dickinson. This is the ending is still unwritten. So we have Joe and Ottie, and they meet in the writer's room. I love the fact that we've kind of like come into like 30 Rock writer's room territory here with this one. And given the fact that this was apparently originally written as a script, it totally does read like a TV show or a movie, and it's just so will they won't they romance, kind of like not enemies to lovers, but you know that like we've got a lot of kind of opposites attract here, and this one was just like frustratingly good. It was frustrating because the characters just didn't do what you wanted them to do, and it was so good because of that, and so romantic because of that, and just lovely. Highly recommend. All of these will be linked in the description box below, of course. Then we have one that was, I think, one of my first reads of the year, one of my first reads of 2020, and this one is Mr. Nobody by Steadman, one of a few thrillers on this list, so it's not all rom-coms here for you. Obviously these are all adult fiction, but yeah, we had a rom-com, now we have a thriller. This one just kept me turning the pages. I absolutely loved it. I really have to read Steadman's previous novel. I kind of put it tentatively on a couple of TBRs, but never actually got around to reading it this year, so maybe next year, although she'll probably have a new one out then, and then I'll have to read that one. It's a whole thing, but this one had me like holding my breath and like, oh. It was a very like slow drip reveal, but I was here for it. And then another thriller, which I also absolutely love. This was a thriller in the sense of definitely a more psychological thriller. If Mr. Nobody sort of moves into like more kind of crime, police type of thriller, like people are getting injured here, this one's definitely more psychological because this is Strangers by C.L. Taylor, and this is They Know You But You Don't Know Them, and I have a whole video talking about why I love this one, so I will leave it linked up above so you can go away and watch my full review, because I mean, C.L. Taylor's always going to feature on some favourites lists, but I absolutely love this one. And then we have one that I did read during a reading vlog, so I'll try and find that vlog and link it for you because you can see my thoughts as I'm reading it. But this is Pretending by Holly Bourne, and we have three different covers. That's the word, covers. So we have this pinky one, which I had not seen before until I was Googling the cover. Then we have this white one like this, and then we have this yellow one, which is the same as the white one, but yellow. And this one deals with what it's like to be kind of on your own and back into dating when you are a survivor of a sexual assault or sexual abuse. And just the fact that, you know, on the surface you are pretending that everything's fine, but really deep down everything is just like completely not fine, and the mental toll that it can take on you, and the residual PTSD and anxiety, and just the effect that it can have on a person, while still being this like amazing story and this book about this, you know, amazing courageous woman. And just I'm in awe of how Holly Bourne managed to just put this book together that's got this like, yeah, this kind of rom-com style of story, but with this underlying real life issues running through it. It's not gonna lie, it was definitely a tough read. I could not have read this in one sitting. I had to kind of, you know, put the book in the freezer for a bit and then come back to it the next day. But it's although it's a tough read, you know, check for care warnings for you personally, but if you can, I really highly recommend it, and it's definitely one of my favorite adult fiction reads of the year, like undoubtedly. Then changing gear a little bit, we have Us Three by Ruth Jones, which I think read during a readathon. This one just really surprised me. Friends forever is a difficult promise to keep, and you know, it's these friends who are so close and you know, vow to always be friends, and you see them at the beginning and you're like, oh yeah, I get this friendship dynamic, and then things happen and life gets in the way, and we follow these friends over a whole time period and see where they are in their lives and how they're getting on, and whether they're still talking to one another, and just, you know, life being not what you expect it to be when you are friends when in your much younger years, and kind of, yeah, how friends come in and out of our lives, and it's not always a bad thing, but it's, you know, something that we have to accept and adapt to. And it was just really well written, and just, yeah, it kind of blew me away by how much I enjoyed it. I expected to enjoy it, but I didn't expect to enjoy it this much, which kind of sounds bad, but you know, going into a book with like lower expectations is sometimes better, because you find a gem like Us Three by Ruth Jones, and I really loved this one. And then we have The Switch by Beth O'Leary, which I went into with high expectations. It's the opposite. So I love this cover. I hate the US cover. I will never show you the US cover because I just don't think it does this book justice in any way, shape or form. And this one is a like cross-generational, feel-good, uplit, very much. We have our two main characters. We have our main character who lives in London, and then her grandmother who lives up in a village in Yorkshire, and they switch places, and it's just fantastic and heartwarming, and just everything we needed it to be at the point that it was released in 2020. And I couldn't put this book down. It was so much fun. I love the kind of real life issues that it deals with, as well as dealing with, which a lot of books have done really well this year, dealing with the fact that, you know, not everything you see on social media is 100% this person's life. You know, you see me sitting here in my chair in front of my bookshelves, but you don't see what's on the other side of the camera, and you don't see what people are going through inside themselves as well. And you know, it looks at what happens when you kind of give up that technology and don't have your phone on you at all times, or don't have the signal to have your phone on you at all times. And I think that that's a really important thing to deal with, especially this year as well. And then something that was very similar to The Switch, and I did read it at a very similar time, but it's also an author that I returned to after a long time, and this is 500 Miles From You by Jenny Colgan. And I read everything that Jenny Colgan released back in the day, and then I just had a break. And I think because Mum was reviewing her books for the blog, and she was kind of delving back into some of her back catalogue as well, I took a little break from this author, and then I came back with this book, and this was just oh, it was just delightful. It's 3 months, 2 strangers, 1 love story, and it's like, you know, love across the miles. And again, it's a bit like The Switch in that we have, you know, inner London versus Highlands of Scotland, and it was just, it was everything I wanted it to be. And again, I didn't go in with massive expectations because I hadn't read a Jenny Colgan novel in so long. But this reminded me of why I used to love her novels and why she is an auto-buy author, or she was an auto-buy author for me. Have any of you experienced that, where you've kind of like had a bit of a break from an author and then come back to them and you're like, oh yeah, this is comfortable, this feels nice? And again, it deals with, you know, what happens when we slow down and we do accept that things take a little bit longer and things can't always be, you know, in London you can get your Prime delivery the same day, and then in the Highlands of Scotland it's just not a thing. And you know, in one country that can be so different as well. And I know we know all about differences in parts of the UK right now, but yeah, I just really enjoyed this one, and if you haven't read it, I do really recommend it. And it was just like a comfy, cozy rom-com, and then moving away from that to a book that just completely broke me. And I did read this during a reading vlog, so I will leave that linked up above because you can see the ending of this book and how it affected me. And This Is Because of You by Dawn French. And I basically can't say anything about this book because anything I say will be spoilers for you, but it's an amazing read. It is not what you expect it to be, and yeah, I was sobbing for the last like 10% at least of this book, so you can watch that video and find out why I just loved this book so much. And then we have some physical books that I can actually show you. And I think all of these physical books I have videos for, so you're gonna have to watch those videos to find out why they've made it onto my top 10. I have Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell. This is the US cover. I think in my video I show you an example of a UK cover as well, and this one was Lisa Jewell's release this year, her most recent one, and it's an adult thriller and I just loved it. And if you go ahead and watch that video, it will tell you why. And then we have one that, again, I read fairly early on in the year, and I was like, is this my new favourite book of the year? And this is My One True North by Millie Johnson. And I've also talked about Millie Johnson's Christmas book here on this channel, but I did absolutely love this one. As surely as the compass points north, some people cannot be kept apart. And I do have a whole video talking about why I love this one. This is an adult contemporary rom-com, but it does deal with some tougher issues as well. So if you're looking for that kind of thing, go ahead and watch that video and see if you want to pick this one up. And then an author you knew would be on this list if you've been following the channel for a while. This is the US cover for In Case You Missed It by Lindsey Kelk, because I love the pink US cover for this one. But I did make a whole video talking about this one, and I do actually have a whole Lindsey Kelk playlist here on the channel. Maybe one day that playlist will include an author interview here on this channel. We need to make this happen. But yes, you can watch my review of this one or watch my whole like ode to Lindsey Kelk playlist, which includes videos that I've made reviews talking about the I Heart series as well as some of her standalone books, and it's just lovely. And my coffee as well, my copy is a signed copy my copy is a signed book. We'll just go with that one. You know, if anyone wants to come and sign my coffee, I'm not sure I'd actually be happy with that one, because then the coffee would taste like ink and not coffee, or whatever I put in the coffee, because this time of year, you know, you never know what's in my coffee cup. Never. And then finally, my most recent read to make it onto the list, this is This Time Next Year by Sophie Cousens. This is the US cover. How many US covers do I have? I suppose because I haven't been back to the UK this year, I haven't had any chance to buy any UK books and bring them back with me. So this is why I have so many US covers. But Hayley and I did this one as a buddy read as well. And we have a whole video talking about why we enjoyed this book. We made a live video. So I will leave that one linked. If I've got links left up above, I will leave it there. If not, I will leave it in the end screen. But there you have it, my top 10 is it just 10 adult fiction that I read this year, and I think they are all, I think I limited it just to 2020 releases to help me with my list as well. Have you read any of the books that are on my list? Have you got like a kind of broad mix of genres like I have? Because I feel like, you know, I've got a couple of sort of more issues-based books, some uplit, some rom-coms, some thrillers, and sort of differences in the thrillers as well, which I'm quite proud of that fact. I quite like that. But yeah, let me know what made your list in the comments below. Do we share any of the same books? If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed so that tomorrow's video, which will be my birthday video, lands in your subscription feed. Hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload a new video. I do have videos still coming at you left, right and centre until the very end of the year, so you're not going to want to miss out on those. But yes, I will be back with my birthday video tomorrow, so I will see you then. Thanks for watching.